just never get tired of the song. The
Me
Ballad
neither.
of the Brother Sisters is what I'm calling it, even though it's not nearly a ballad at
It's
all.
not. It's ballad like makes it seem like it's sad, and this is opposite.
Yeah, it's the opposite of sad. This song is amazing because, yeah, there's nothing at all sad about.
If this song had been playing at Dabney and Company last night, I would have totally gotten up and danced to it. I'm like, yeah,
Totally.
this is accessible.
It is. What's up, everybody? Anna's specifically talking about the fact that we went out last night
I know, like we
and
were like in our
partied like
20s
rock
or something.
stars. It was fun. Yes, you were listening to the Brother Sisters or viewing the Brother Sisters Smart Time Fun. Happy Sunday.
Happy
Uh,
Sunday.
yeah, I'm straight hungover today. It's official. I think that's part of my angst today, my ennui, to
You're
use a
on
French
weed.
term that we were talking about this morning. Of course. Anyway, yeah, we went out last night. We went and had dinner with our friend Kim, who
Mhm,
we'll talk about more in a little while. So it was Ann and Duncan and our friend Kim. Joe is not here right now. I'll talk about
mm-mm,
that later as well. But we went and had dinner at the WL Social House in Kalamazoo and had the steak platters.
mhm,
So good. It's a charcuterie board with steak instead of cured
mhm.
meats, and it's freaking delicious. And then afterwards, we went out to a fantastic little spot called Dabney and Company, and hopefully we'll have the owner on here in a few weeks. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's a great establishment, and the music was great, and there was so much dancing.
So much dancing, and I have not danced in ages.
Yeah,
We had so much fun last night. It was a blast, and
it
Jenny
was.
and I and Kim and Duncan were probably not the oldest necessarily, but more older than most. So
Well, because we got there a little before 9, and
Mhm,
apparently at 9 o'clock on a Saturday,
mhm,
it starts Dabney After Dark,
mhm,
baby.
baby, and so
And
we
we
had a
and we
blast.
we did. It was
Mhm,
great. And then we got up this morning and we walked our 5K
mhm.
and
For
had breakfast.
run for the trees.
Nice.
Mhm,
Excellent.
mhm,
And then we had breakfast at East Egg over by Western's campus.
mhm.
Delicious.
You know,
Never had been there before.
I was thinking about it today, and I was like, that place is like, it's like, they have like all the yummy stuff that like Anna's place or Tiffany's has, but it's not bougie.
It's not. It's just straight breakfast, yo. And that was nice. It was refreshing to have just straight breakfast, yo.
It was delicious, and
Yeah.
yeah, they also have their menu is mildly influenced towards young college people who might be needing some hangover food. Not everything, but there are some subtle nods to that. Like
Yeah.
breakfast nachos.
We got to see a picture of the breakfast nachos. Our server was
Mhm,
really great about showing us what the breakfast nachos look like,
mhm.
and they looked amazing and awful all at the same time.
All at the same time, I was like, "I want them, but I don't think they want me."
Yeah, I also don't want them. It's amazing how that works. So yeah.
Oh,
So yes, we are here. We are doing our 10 our I don't know, I guess biannual 10 questions. We do this about
mhm,
every 6 months just so, if anybody if we have new viewers, they can, catch up with what's happening. So let's jump into it because we actually have a lot of questions today. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that on the stage. And we will first again start out by reminding people of who we are and what we do and why we do it. All right.
mhm.
And brothers, I'm going to let you get started with that.
So, welcome or welcome back to Brother Sisters Smart Dumb Fun. Here's our synopsis. We are Anne and Janice brothers. We are sisters. Our last name is Brothers, hence the Brothers Sisters. We're in our 50s, Generation X. That means we have waxed philosophically and had deep thoughts about Gilligan's Island.
Very
Gilligan's
deep.
Island was a very fundamental part of our television experience as children. And not only have we done this together personally, but I mean, I remember in undergrad, like having parties, and this would eventually digress into some sort of philosophical Gilligan's Island question. And not just like, are you a Marianne or a Ginger? Oh, no, no. It just hours, like text could be written. We talk about smart stuff, dumb stuff, obviously, fun stuff, or any combination of the three. We are not cool, hip, or sexy. And man, if we didn't know that, boy, was it reinforced to us last night at Dabney and Company.
Right
Yet,
in your face, not
ooh,
cool.
not cool, hip, or sexy. But anyway, um, and we know this really because we like our bedtime when it gets dark. And even though we don't like it, we're usually up at first light. So last night it was so funny. What we got to bed at 10:30 and we were like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so
It's
tired."
so late.
Oh, Duncan
Yeah,
says it was 11. So,
it's 11, yeah. Well, it's so funny because we were here we are, streaming out of there at about 10:30 and, like, there are people just streaming in there. I'm like, "Oh, we're just ending and they're just
they're
getting started."
just getting started. And then this morning, what time were we up? First light.
6. I got up at 6, I had some coffee before we went on our walk because,
Mhm.
wouldn't I?
Yeah. We're not celebrity influence or true crime podcast. That makes it hard for podcast companies to compare us to other shows, which we think is a good thing.
Yes,
We've been told we're good to listen to when you want to learn things about stuff. Thank you, Chip Maley. And
yes.
you need to be drama free. We are definitely not drama queens. We're queens, but not drama queens.
No, no.
We've also
We're
been
amateurs.
told exactly. We've also been told that if you start an episode, it's hard to stop because we're mesmerizing, like snake charmers. Who told you that, Jenny
Totally.
Brothers?
I can't remember who told me that, but it cracked me up, and I'm like, "Yeah, snake charmers, that's us."
Mhm.
I'm like, "Look, all of a sudden it's a half
Ooh.
hour later, and you're still watching us. How did that
Exactly.
happen?"
I know. I know. See,
Hey,
it's and people think
I
that.
wanna digress.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
I was just gonna digress about the Gilligan's Island thing real quick.
Hmm.
I just it makes me a little bit mad sometimes because the writers of Gilligan's Island, I mean, how dumb did they think we were? I mean,
Pretty dumb. We were watching it.
yeah. Yeah, I'd like to think that they thought better of us than that. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you with my digressions. That just popped into my head, and there it
See,
was.
again,
So,
waxing philosophically about
yep,
Gilligan's Island. It sucks you in.
uh-huh,
What can you do?
it does.
This podcast is not G, PG, or even PG-13, which means it's more entertaining. Join us on our website. You can our Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. You can like us, follow us, hit the bell, leave us a review. Do
Mm,
that. Leave us a review.
yeah, it should be a five-star review about how awesome we were and how entertained you were and how much you loved this.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And uh-huh. Give us your feedback with our questions and answers and our polls. I'm sorry, on the thing I put pools. It's polls. And you can ask Alexis to play us, and she will.
And she will,
Mhm.
because she knows us because we're tight. We're
We're
tight.
tight. Tight. Mhm.
Yeah, so there you go. So if you're a new listener, if you're not quite familiar with who we are or what we do, you've now been informed and you can decide for yourself what comes next for you. You're like, do I want to get into this smart, dumb, fun thing or do I want to walk away? It's up to you. It's okay. You
Mhm.
won't hurt our feelings, but you also might enjoy yourself. So
Yeah.
this is the part of the show where we talk about something dumb, smart, or fun that we experienced this week and wanted to share. And we shall start with you.
I'm calling this smart fun. I got several people, three people in my life, either texted me or forwarded this to me on Facebook. This story about a black bear up in northern Michigan in the Empire area. So that's right next to the Sleeping Bear Dunes. So a black bear breaks into grocer's daughter chocolate in Empire, Michigan, and steals a 50-pound bag of sugar and then eats it in their garden. Team bear, yay! So
Team Bear.
turns out this bear had been like, scouting the property for a few days, testing the handle on the door, trying to see if it could get in. They had forgotten to bolt the back door. So there's video of him because they have a ring camera system of him just pulling down on the door handle, walking in, and he could have made a real mess. But he just took the first thing that interested him. 50 pounds of sugar, and they have a gorgeous little garden in the back of their building, like an herb garden. Sat in there, ate the sugar.
Well, because their chocolate is amazing. It's a really great place to get chocolate, and I love the fact
It's
that bears know that too.
Yeah, it's my favorite place, and there's lots of good places to get chocolate in Michigan, but it's Grocer's Daughter is my favorite. So I think that's why a couple people sent it to me because they knew that was my favorite chocolate place. Now they're talking about relocating the bear because a fed bear is a dead bear. This is a very during this time of year before tourist season starts. It's kind of low population, not much going on. But in a couple months, it's going to be crammed with people from all over the world. And this bear has learned that if he uses his paws, he can get into places and find treats. And human bear contact usually means that the bear ends up getting killed. So they're going to be relocating him 60 miles away. So it'll take him all summer to walk back.
But you know he's gonna come back. He's like, dude, that's where the sugar is. Come on, y'all.
And it's spring, so bears are just waking up for their hibernation and they're hungry. They're skinny and hungry, and they need a 50-pound bag of sugar just to help them wake up. So, yeah. So, if you ever encounter a bear, black bears are not very aggressive here in Michigan. They're most of the time they'll know you're there and you won't know they're there, so that's good. But don't try to feed them. It's a very bad idea. Our cousin Joe he lives in the Crestone, Colorado area, which is in the mountains. And he had a large grizzly bear break into his truck because they had an empty Dr. Pepper can in it. And of
Yeah.
course, there was nothing in there. So the bear, shattered the window, shit all over the truck, and left.
Made his feelings very clear about what happened there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that was
very clear.
I put it down as smart fun just because I wanted to be able to tell. Just one, I thought the story was kind of funny, but human bear interactions are dangerous. Honestly, more for the bear. So
Yeah,
make sure
agreed.
this bear is safe, even though he did a funny thing that I really appreciate and secretly admire. I want the bear to be safe.
Understood.
Mhm.
Anne, you supplied me with the dumb fun thing this week. So Anne and I have this little thing we do for each other. We provide each other with a treat box. So it's just a bunch of rando things we buy for each other. We wrap them up and we give them to each other. Anne's is in bucket form and mine is in a large Rubbermaid container form. And so I treated myself, just kind of a hard week this week. So I treated myself to opening the box, and this is what I unwrapped. I unwrapped, so you can see this. This is dinosaur candy spray. That's right, dinosaur candy spray. That is not a typo. Those three words are supposed to be there in that order. Dinosaur candy spray. So been dying to try this out. It took me a while to figure out how this works. So it was wrapped in plastic, and then the little head pops off, and then you can spray the stuff in your mouth. God, this stuff smells terrible. It smells bad. Ooh, all right. Wish me luck.
Mhm.
Dinosaur candy spray. Oh, oh no. Oh, oh my God. Oh, oh my God. What did I just put? That's what she said.
Oh man.
Holy shit.
Um,
What the actual fuck? Good Lord.
when I saw
Oh,
that, I thought, "Oh, it's a dinosaur." And then I was like, "Dinosaur candy spray?" I'm like, "Did this not get translated correctly from
oh,
wherever it came like
what
China?
evil son of
Is
a
it
mother bleeping
is it supposed to
made
say
this?
dinosaur perfume maybe? Dinosaur hairspray?"
Can't even begin to tell you what this tastes like. All I need to know is okay, if you see this somewhere, spare your children. Or if you're trying to murder your children, this is what you know what this tastes like? This tastes like being 13 feels, okay? Holy moly. Okay.
That explains why it was only $1.50. So
Yeah, what? Yeah. I thought you loved me. I thought you were my sister and that you loved me. Why would you get me this?
because it said it was a dinosaur that was blue and it said dinosaur candy spray and I wanted to
There's
know what it was
nothing.
without having to try it.
It was like I can't even describe the taste other than it was heinous. And that's me saying that. Okay? That's me who likes just about everything, but it was shockingly sweet and sour at the same time. And this taste is never leaving my tongue. There, I'm like, you know that scene in Elf where he's like, the lady puts the fruit spray in his mouth and he's like, "Ah," that's what's going on in my head right now. Yeah, it's like, you know how 13-year-olds, you're that awkward, terrible stage and like
Mhm.
it's just bad for years. That's what this spray is. This spray is being a 7th grader. That's what this is. Anyway, don't do it. I've
Don't
saved
do it.
you from ingesting dinosaur candy spray. It tastes like a pandemic.
Oh, man, that's hilarious. Ugh.
God. All right. Sorry.
Maybe
I'm
that's
sorry
what
you had to witness
dinosaurs
that.
really tasted like, Jenny.
Say again.
Maybe that's what dinosaurs really tasted like.
I think this is actually what caused the extinction of the dinosaurs. I'm sure. Maybe this is what dinosaur urine tastes like. I don't know. Dinosaur
Oh,
urine spray. Right on.
yeah, but then they'd never sell it.
Hmm, excellent point. So we'll just put
Mhm.
candy instead of urine. It's awesome. Ooh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, that's over.
excellent.
Ooh. All right, let's answer some questions. These questions, this is our annual, biannual 10 questions. This year we kind of expanded it. So Anna and I are asking each other 5 questions, and then we are expanding it to our listeners because we have, tens of listeners who have questions for us. We have answers. Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, I have the first question. All right, Ann, go for it.
Oh, so Jenny, tell me something smart, something fun, and something dumb, please.
Okay. The smart thing is that, uh, well, I'm gonna start with the dumb thing. The dumb thing was this, for sure. I feel like I started with the dumb thing. Um, the fun thing was last night. The fun thing was Dabney and Company, and I gotta tell you, I'm gonna kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. Somebody, and I can't remember who it was, asked me, I think it was Tammy Peters, you asked me what the best non-touristy place in Michigan is, and I honestly think it's the city of Kalamazoo. Kalamazoo is not a destination city. People are like, "Hey, you know what? Let's go vacation, you know, in Kalamazoo, Michigan." But I will say this about Kalamazoo, pound for pound, it's got some of the coolest stuff going in terms of the size of this town. It's really trying hard to kind of make a comeback, and it's got a lot of really fantastic restaurants. And like I said last time, we went out to Dabney and Company and just had a really great time. The young man that owns that establishment, I can't think of his last name, has really done a great job of making a really special place, I think. And so
Mhm.
that's my fun thing. As far as smart things go, I don't really have a lot of smart stuff in my head right now. It is, I would say one of the things that I'm doing is I'm studying instructional design right now, and I'm studying like a college student again, and it's really interesting. And I'm learning a lot about the processes of it, especially the technology that goes with it, and I'm really enjoying it. So I would say that's my smart thing right now. So
Well, that's
there
pretty
you
good.
go.
You seem very
Smart.
well rounded, Jenny.
Well, I'm trying. I'm trying to
Mhm,
be well-rounded. So
mhm,
there you go. All right, Ann Brothers, your
mhm,
question. Here we go. All right. If you could create a pet by
mhm.
combining any 2 animals, what 2 animals would they be, and what would you call that animal?
I would take a wombat and a cat, and I would call it a womcat.
I knew you were gonna say that. 100% knew it.
I am addicted to wombat stuff on Facebook. In fact, I have taught Facebook to send me tons of wombat stuff. I love wombats. I think they're hilarious. And I love cats, and I think they're hilarious. So I would combine them into a womcat.
Womcat, I knew it because the other day I was at your place and you were sitting there on your couch watching wombat videos, and I gotta tell you, they're cute.
All right. They're hilarious. They're so
Now, hang on a
hilarious.
second.
I
I have
just
to.
want to.
I'm gonna do this. There's got to be a picture somewhere on the internet of a womcat.
Womcat.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Okay.
I would make the womcat.
I like it.
Mhm.
Wombat and a cat. I just see wombats and cats. I don't. Nobody has used their computer to design a womcat yet.
A womcat. Actually, I have a couple of pictures here. I just put in womcat, and there's like a wombat's body with a cat's face.
I hold it up to the screen so we can see it.
Womcat.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Hilarious. and quite honestly, I don't really know what a wombat is, but they're doggone cute. That's all I know.
They're a marsupial.
I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah, they're a
So,
marsupial. So, yeah, you find them
okay.
in like Australia, and they're. I would say they're probably their version of a hedgehog or a groundhog.
Okay.
Hmm.
So like
Yeah,
the ones that are in my yard, like Otis and Blondie. Yes,
yeah,
who live
yeah.
in my yard at all times. So, all
But like,
right.
they're not rodents. Like, groundhogs are rodents, and they're not rodents,
Or
but
just
they
big
do
squirrels. Yeah.
burrow. And that sort of thing. So, yeah, they're nocturnal. They're
Nice.
cute, cute, cute.
God, I'm still
Yeah,
tasting that stupid dinosaur spray. Oh,
Womcat.
Womcat, dinosaur spray. It's already been a productive day. All right.
Exactly.
Question two is mine. Go for it, Ann.
Jenny, which do you prefer, soft serve ice cream or hard ice cream?
This is a difficult question for me. This is
Mhm.
why you gotta make me choose. It hurts.
Well, I know, because I know I have one that I prefer slightly more than the other, and I wanted to know what you preferred.
Well, I would say that if I had to choose, if given the choice, I'm gonna
Mhm.
go with hard ice cream. And the
Oh,
reason I do that is because now mint chip ice cream is my favorite of all time ice creams.
mhm.
But the problem with soft serve ice cream is that it's over too quickly. I am a power eater of ice cream. I can knock out ice cream like you would not believe. I would consider myself to be one of the speediest ice cream eaters ever, and not because I want to be, but because I love it so much. And so, uh, soft ice cream it poses no challenge to me whatsoever. Where hard ice cream, takes me a little bit longer, and then if you get something like a Moose Tracks or something where you gotta harvest stuff, especially if you're just doing an ice cream cone, you've gotta
Mhm.
work for that. You gotta work your tongue around it just right. So, yeah, I'm gonna say hard ice cream is my preference, because like soft ice cream, it's like Indigo Montana with his right hand. If I use my right hand, it's over too quickly, you know? So, yeah,
Very
I
good.
have to
All right.
I have to savor it. So, all right, question number 2, and
Mhm.
brothers. Which golden girl are you? Explain your answer.
Okay, I am B. Arthur's character, Dorothy. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, I think that the reason I am is because I, like Dorothy, can have a very, very stinging, biting sense of humor. Also, I'm a very good straight man when it comes to comedy. As B. Arthur, I think, was one of the most brilliant straight men ever. So she's very good at carrying a whole ensemble. I liked that Dorothy was fairly no nonsense. So yeah, I think they were all amazing characters, but if I was going to be any character, it would be Dorothy B. Arthur. Mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah. She was my favorite character as much as I love Rose, because I would probably, based on, myself, I'm probably more of a Rose, but yeah,
Mhm.
as far as the woman that held that cast together in terms of the comedy, it was absolutely B. Arthur.
Mhm.
For
Yeah.
real. Yes.
Yeah, she really
Yeah.
did. She could set everybody, carry the show by setting up everybody's jokes, and then she could make her own. She was great. She's a great actress, a great comedian, and yeah, I would be honored to be Dorothy. So,
To be a Dorothy, nice.
yeah. Mhm.
We've got Nancy Garman with us. Nancy, we have your questions in our list, so awesome. Thanks for joining us. I would love to enjoy your homemade French vanilla ice cream.
Mm.
It's the bomb. That sounds so good.
It does sound
Mm.
delicious right now, and I'm kinda hungry, so I was
Yeah,
like,
I am
that
too.
sounds good." I
That
was like,
sounds good,
ice cream." I was just thinking, it's like, "Let's go get soft serve."
and I love homemade ice cream.
Me
Love
too.
it.
Me
Yeah.
too.
I
Mhm.
I don't have an ice cream maker in my home for a very good reason because, yeah, I would
Mhm.
eat it constantly. So,
Mhm.
all right, and question 3 for me.
Jenny, what sportings have you recently enjoyed and why?
I'm glad you asked that, Anne, because as you know,
Mhm.
sportsing is a big part of my history.
Mhm.
Uh, the big sportsing thing that I loved so much this year was the women's March Madness. God, it was great this year. Compelling stories, really good basketball, and Caitlin Clark is a very compelling basketball player, pretty amazing. And I know a lot of people are kinda over her, they're like, she felt she was too overexposed. I'm like, I don't think she was. I think she's doing things that are amazing. She's a prolific scorer, logo's a logo, and she's hitting, 40-foot shots. That's fantastic, and I think
Mhm.
she's been really good for basketball. And I just, unfortunately, anybody that thought that Iowa was going to win the national championship was not watching South Carolina play basketball this year. They were such a deserving team. Probably should have won it all last year. Don Staley is coaching great basketball, and that team was fabulous. And they just basically pounded everybody. They had one little close game in the tournament, but other than that, they were very solid. So I loved watching that. I love the fact that people, men, women, kids, boys, girls, were watching the women's tournament, selling it out. And I think it's going to be, I think it's wonderful for women's sports. I love the fact that, when I was young, there was no options for professional sports for me, and that's fine. I'm so glad that young women have opportunities to
Mhm.
make money professionally now. I think it's kind of shameful that Caitlin Clark's going to go to the WNBA and make so much less money than what she was making with her name and image likeness deals at University of Iowa. But the good news is she'll make a lot of money in endorsements, and the truth is the WNBA doesn't make very much money. They're financed by the NBA, and as a result of that, they don't pay very well. So maybe as this league becomes more popular and they start to gain more revenue, that will change for women. But it's still encouraging that things are really starting to change for female athletes. The other thing that I have enjoyed was UFC 300, which was last weekend. It was their 300th monthly tournament, and it was banging, yo. Yeah, I'm a semi-closeted, UFC fan. I know people think that, well, you have said that UFC is nothing more than human cockfighting, and you're not wrong. And there's something that's very primal about it that I have always loved combat sports. I don't know. I'm an animal, so
Jenny, we all are technically. So,
I know. So, and then of course it's spring, which means women's college softball is in fine form, and it's really great right now because ESPN has started showing more games. So you don't have to just wait until June to watch the Women's College World Series. You can start watching women's college softball all the time now, and I love that because as far as bat and ball sports go, softball I think is superior to baseball. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay,
okay.
uh, and brothers,
Yes.
question 3. Now, you had asked me this question in
Mhm.
November, and so I'm asking it back. What are
Okay.
3 things that you would like people to know about you?
I would like people to know that I'm an optimist. And I know it doesn't seem like it. Well, maybe on this show you don't know me very well, but I'm an optimist. I really am. I often think that, we could do the best could happen. It's true. Of course, when it doesn't, I have lots of things to say about it, but in my heart, I'm an optimist. Um,
Nice.
I am a sucker for potential. I mean, it's like, and I don't know quite how to describe it, but people, places, things like I have the potential to be a hoarder because everything I see, I was like, "Ooh, I can make something out of that. Ooh, I could take that apart and make something else out of that. Oh, what if I did this and made this out of it?" I love potential. So, needless to say, secondhand stores, garbage by the side of the road, shiny things I pick up
Hey.
from the street. It's all like in my head. I was like, "Oh, I could make this into. Ooh, I could do this. What can I do with this? I don't know, but I should save it until I can think of something." So,
I
mhm.
think it's funny that you say that you're an optimist and that you believe in potential, and that's 100% true because you taught middle school, and brothers.
I know, right? Right, and that's my proof for both of them is that, yeah, I'm an optimist, and yeah, I believe in potential because I taught middle school for 14 years. I mean, you have to believe in both of those things 100%. Otherwise,
Yeah,
you can't be a good middle school teacher because
you can't. You can't do it.
I believe they will get better. I believe that they can be more.
Uh,
Let's
yes,
see, 3
yes.
things I want people to know about me. Um, hmm, 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 hmm. A third thing. I feel like, oh, you know what? Secretly, I'm an introvert. So, I'm good at performing well, but most of the time when I'm at like get-togethers or parties or getting to know people, I immediately try to think of questions that they want to talk about, and so I can just sit back and listen and not volunteer anything.
I totally get that.
And then I'm like,
100%.
"Can I go home now?" So yes, so though I do a good impression of being an extrovert, I am actually quite introverted. So there you go. Three things about
Awesome.
me. Hmm.
Well done.
Hmm.
Yeah, the middle school thing for
Hmm.
reals.
For
All
reals.
right,
Mhm.
question 4.
Jenny, what three destinations would you like to visit or revisit, and why?
Well, we're gonna start. I said I would talk about this earlier, so I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the fact that my husband is working for the summer in Wisconsin. He's working at the Trollhagen Adventure Park. It was a job he worked a number of years, and then they asked him to come back and be their adventure park director again this summer. So he's in Wisconsin probably until the end of October. So that would be one of the places I would like to revisit. I would like to, we've only been apart a week and it feels longer than that. So I'm looking forward to seeing him again when I get the chance. So that's one. I would also like to revisit Crestone, Colorado. I was looking at some pictures the other day. It's been 8 years since I've been to Crestone.
Wow.
I know, right? Because,
Wow.
you know, I went in 2016 when I went out for the family reunion in Salida. I
Mhm.
went out in 2017 with the family. We went for the family reunion, and but we didn't get down to Crestone in that visit, and then just didn't get back. We were going to go back. Of course, last summer we were going to go down for a day or two,
Mhm.
and that didn't end up working out. So, yeah,
Okay.
I really want to go back there. I'm going to make that happen this summer. And then, uh, as far as where else I would like to visit, oh, I would really like to go to Ireland. I would, and that's tough for me because I have a lot of places I want to. I've never been to New York City. I would like to do that. I've never been to Ireland. I would like to do that. And part of me is just I'd like to catch up with old friends. Like my friend Annie lives down in Florida.
Mhm.
I haven't been down there in God, 14 years.
Wow.
So there's lots of people that I would like to catch up with, revisit. Um, yeah. Yeah, I have traveled significantly less over the last honestly, things really kind of changed for me with COVID, where I would take off for, 4 or 5 weeks every summer and just go visit. And I haven't done that in a while. So
Mhm.
it's time.
It's time, Jenny Brothers. It's
It's time to hit
time.
the road. It is. All right, Ann Brothers, your
Mhm.
question 4. All right. Now, Ann, I spun a wheel. This is, something dumb I did. I spun a wheel, and you can go onto the internet and you can pick state wheel spinner. And I spun the wheel, and 5 states came up. So the 5 states that came up were Arkansas, Alaska, Oregon, South Carolina, and New Hampshire. So, of these 5 states that I have randomly selected, which would you choose to visit first, and which one would be your last choice to visit, and why?
Well, we were talking about this a little bit last night, and I will try. Let's just say that there's some states on this list that I have decided I will not spend money in because of their stance on uh, women and LGBTQ plus communities. There's three of them on that list that I probably won't visit until, because I'm an optimist, until they become more progressive in their policies. I'll just say that. So,
Nicely
having
done,
said
Anne.
that, thank you. Oregon would be my first choice of those five. Oregon would be my first choice.
Oregon's
If
nice,
I
it's really pretty.
wasn't, yeah, I have never been there, so that's why.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not. There's a three-way tie for the other one
For for least.
for
Let me
least.
guess, let me guess. Those would be South Carolina, Arkansas, and Alaska.
Yes, which is too bad because
Yeah.
I'd really love to go to Alaska. Um, but I just, it's not that I'm canceling them. I just deciding not to spend my money there.
So
So,
you're making a choice.
I'm
Yeah,
making a choice. Yeah. So
right.
I will yeah. So that's how I feel, Jenny Brothers. So
Okay.
Oregon it is. And
Oregon it is.
I've heard like amazing things about it. So I'm like, yeah, I would have a good time there. That's where I'm gonna go.
Yeah. Yeah, the coast is amazing, and the Columbia River Valley is banging hot. That's all I
Mhm.
know. That's all I
Yeah,
have to know.
exactly.
So,
So
yeah.
there you go. Mhm.
All right. My question number 5. All right, Ann, I'm ready.
Mhm. Jenny, are you a dog person or a cat person, and why?
I'm a cat person, and I'm a cat person because I think dogs are amazing. In fact, here's a picture of a dog that I was madly in love with and still regret not stealing. That's with my Uncle Phil. That dog is Daisy. She was a little Cocker Spaniel, and she had a heart of absolute gold. I love dogs. I think they're amazing. Um, they are they're needier than I want them to be, and cats are not. I cats are and I've gotten to know cats a lot over the years. I love them. I think they're interesting. And if I'm gonna have a dog, and someday I might have a dog, but I want to be able to take my dog to work with me, and I can't do that. So I don't want a dog. Cats are they seem to do better. They like to have companionship too, don't get me wrong, but they seem to just sort of do better on their own, and that suits me. Yeah, and they're fun, and they are independent and weird, and they're murdery, and they're yeah, I don't
Tiny, tiny murderers thinking of
yeah,
murder all the time.
all the time, and there's something about that personality of a cat that just I we get each other. We get
Mhm,
each other.
mhm.
And I have had dogs that I have known and loved in my life, but, in terms of if I'm a dog or a cat person, I'm a cat person. So, there you go.
Perfect. Mhm,
All right, and your
mhm,
5th question, here it is. What are you? Because we were talking about curiosity
mhm.
earlier, I don't know, earlier in the week, and so what I wanna know is what are you curious about?
Well, right now, I am taking. I'm curious about journey beads. These are beads that are made out of. You use a blowtorch and glass rods, and you make beads out of them. And I was curious enough to take, probably 4 classes about making. And constructing them so that I could work the journey bead program at Glass Art Kalamazoo. So I'm curious about that right now. And it's an excellent way to, if you are like one of those people like, oh, I need to become more mindful, do work with a blowtorch because you
Oh,
have to
yeah.
be super mindful. I got to tell you. So curious about that right now. A number of years ago, I read the book Diet Land by Sari Walker, and it sent me down a rabbit hole of diet and wellness culture. And this is years later. So when I read this book, well, it was probably 6, 7 years ago, and it just spiraled. And I have just become Lindy West, Aubrey Gordon, Roxanne Gay, Sonia Renee Taylor, all people that I've read who talk about diet culture, how it affects us. Now we're calling it health and wellness, of course. But yeah, every time I finish one book, I end up picking up another book. So it's really changed how I thought about my own body, how I think about other. Why even questioning why we would consider thinking about other people's bodies. Um, you know, and so it's that's what. So I've been spending more time with that. I'm I'm not one of these people that has like I get obsessed and I learn as much as I can, and then I get my next obsession. I'm not one of those people that I was like, oh, this is my dream thing, my dream job. There's too much cool stuff out there, so that's what I'm doing right now. So that's a bunch along with a bunch of other things, but those are my two big curious things right now.
Well done.
Hmm.
Good, those are good ones. Yeah, I read that book as well, and I've read it a couple of times. Man,
Hmm.
Dietland, boy, that book will just blow your mind. Blow it up.
Totally, but I think where I was
Love that
like
book.
when I first picked up that book in the first 5 pages, and now where I am 7 years later, and it totally blows my mind. So
It's awesome.
um, really kept my interest. So
Cool.
mhm,
Super cool. All right, so we have some extra credit questions. We actually threw this out to our viewers yesterday. We wanted to hear from you. So, Anne, I'm going to take the first question,
mhm,
unless you want. You can also, I mean, because these are for both of us. These are
okay.
questions for the brothers sisters. Question one comes from Nicole Lindell. I worked with Nicole in Forest Lake, Minnesota. Nicole is a really excellent middle school slash high school science teacher. Maybe one of the most organized human beings I have ever met, and probably said the word best practices at me more than any human being ever, which I do appreciate. Well done. Um, So, fellow science nerd Nicole, what is she's asking what is our favorite rock? I'm going to start by saying, and I don't know if you're talking about a single rock. I went with an entire classification of rock, which is sedimentary rock. And the reason I love sedimentary rock, especially sandstone and limestone, is because that's where the fossils are. Everything we know about Earth's history, we basically know because of the rock record. We know a lot from igneous and metamorphic rock, but we know the most of it because of the sedimentary rock record. I love sedimentary rocks so much because they tell the story of the history of this planet, and I dig that, literally. See what I did there? I made a pun.
Oh,
Okay.
Ginny.
Anyway, Anne, would you like to answer that question as well?
Yes, I've had lots of favorite rocks over my lifetime. Right now, my favorite rocks are basalt. I love basalt, the black volcanic rock. You find them a lot in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and I just right now I just love them. Again, mild obsession. Might be something different next time you ask. Right now, basalt.
It's basalt, good.
Hmm.
If you're
Hmm.
gonna go igneous, you know, basalt's a good one,
Basalt's a good one. Yeah.
extrusive,
Mhm.
igneous, love
Yeah,
it.
and sometimes you can find them that have holes in them because there was like a just as they were solidifying, a bubble popped, so you find these
Mm,
with holes in them. It's just so cool. Yeah. So that's where I am right now.
testicles. That's
Mhm,
awesome. All right. Our next question from Amy Smola. Amy, this was my favorite question and made me laugh out loud. She would like to
mhm.
know what is your favorite word for thesaurus?
I was like, "What?"
What now? Well, Amy, as a matter of fact, I don't know another word for thesaurus.
I looked up a bunch of words that said what means the same as thesaurus, and all the words actually were more like synonyms for dictionary than thesaurus.
Yeah.
I think the thesaurus is all on its own.
Yeah. I have a little comic in the corner. It's a thesaurus, and it's a dinosaur yelling out, "Comet, asteroid, falling star." That's
Awesome,
fucked up. Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
All right. Do you want to take question 3, Anne, from Chip?
Oh, sure, from Chip, our, entertainment expert,
Yes.
excuse me. When you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up? I didn't wanna be anything other than leave. I'm like, "What's gonna get me out of here?" And, I never really, it's so funny. I was thinking about this the other day, and I mentioned it to Jenny. I used to tell my students that, you can think about what you want to be right now, but it's very possible that you'll be something that hasn't been invented yet. And look at us, Jenny Brothers. We're doing something that was not even invented when we were little. We're podcasters.
Podcasting.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I never really had anything that I wanted to be when I grew up. I was just like, just out of here.
Just gone. Well,
How about
I
you,
had
Jenny?
more specific goals. I wanted to be the first time I can really remember wanting to be something, I wanted to be a baker because I like to bake goods. Uncle Phil was a baker. Uncle Norman was a baker. I liked going to the bakery. I like getting the smiley face cookies that Aunt Barbara would make for us. And so I'm like, yeah, this is dope. That's what
Mhm,
I want. Um, and then as I started to enjoy sports more, say when I was 6 or 7, I was pretty sure I could be a wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I kind of because we watched a lot of the Pittsburgh Steelers when we lived in Pennsylvania for a little while. So I'm like, yeah, I could do that. Now, I kind of knew that that probably wasn't realistic, even as a 6-year-old, because I didn't see any women playing professional football. So, yeah. But I do remember very much wanting to be a professional football player because I could catch and I could be good at that.
mhm, mhm.
But yeah.
There you
So yeah,
go.
baker, professional football player, eventually teacher. So
Mhm.
here we are. So
There you go. There you go.
all right. From Linnea Peterson. Linnea, thank you for giving us a question. You rock. Uh, she wants to know, do you garden? Are you crafty, artsy? If so, go into all the details.
I don't think
I'm
you
going to
want me to
start with
go.
this one.
Oh, go
I'll
ahead.
start.
Mhm.
I'm not particularly crafty. I'm not particularly artsy. I do garden a little bit. Uh, yeah, I get little kicks of artsy or craftsy things, and then they go away and they never come back. So there you go. Now Anne, on the other hand, go.
I'm all the artsy craftsy gardening. I have a huge garden, both vegetable and flower garden. I'm converting my front yard into a pollinator garden. I have 25 raised garden beds. As for artsy craftsy, right now I'm on an embroidery kick. So yes, I do embroidery, and then I just like make up stuff as I go. As Jenny can attest to, I make little tiny dioramas,
Lot of dioramas in that house.
little tiny ones. Some of them are just, some of them actually tell a story. Some of them just amuse the fuck out of me. So I've been doing that for a number of years now because I love little teeny crap, and I thought it was bad until I read an autobiography about, or a biography, excuse me, about Frida Kahlo, and she used to collect all that shit too. And so I was like, see, good company. So yeah. What else? I keep a journal. I've kept a journal for almost 25 years. Yeah, I love taking shit and making it into other shit. That's how I'm crafty.
The closest thing I really get to artsy is that I doodle a lot. That's kinda how I ease my mind, and so, I doodle a lot at faculty meetings, and, they're called rage doodles, and they usually have lots of sharp edges, and that's actually Aunt Julie's fault. She got me doing that Zentangle thing years
Mhm,
ago, and I really liked that. It appeals to me. So that's how I ease my mind during faculty meetings when we're talking about the same things that we've talked about for the past 24 years. So,
mhm,
yeah.
mhm, mhm. Exactly.
All right. Uh, question 5, this is from Tara Trotter. Tara, asked all the questions. All right,
Mhm.
let's just roll through these. Number A, early bird or night owl? Go.
Early bird.
Early bird. Question B, you hit the Powerball. How are you using it? Caveat, at least one thing has to be frivolous. Uh, for the record, most of what I'm gonna spend it on is frivolous. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have no idea what I would do with the money other than not work immediately and just give it away. I would like to spend it all before I die. All of it.
Very
Every
good.
cent.
Mhm.
I wanna die with nothing. So, there you go.
There you go.
Question C. If you could make one significant change to the world that you believe would lead to more important changes for better, what would you change? And brothers go.
You know what? I have no idea. I keep thinking like of the genie stories that you hear, or the monkey's paw. It's like you wish for something for people and then it gets all screwed up and you get what you want, but then half the people die. So I'm not quite sure what I would do other than I guess I would like to ask every individual, what's one thing you want? And then you can have that thing, you know?
Nice.
You know?
I I would just I would like women to be able to go out jogging without the fear of being murdered by men.
I'd like women to be able to do anything without the fear of being murdered by men. That'd be
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
That would be awesome.
yeah, I would like that. I would like women to actually have some sort of I would change the world in a way so that women could actually be genuinely on the same field of play as men when it comes to, not getting murdered or attacked or that we are not that women are seen as something more than that. And that's yeah, I would like to be able to not have to worry about those things, you know. And uh yeah, that's it. That's what I would like.
Mhm,
That's how I would make the world a better place. I would make it a better place for women in terms of just being able to exist without the fear that we all carry for whatever reason. So,
mhm.
there you go.
There you go.
Okay.
Mhm.
And question D, if you could run away tomorrow to anywhere, no cost prohibitions, where are you heading and why?
Me? I'm
Yeah.
heading up to the Upper Peninsula on Lake Superior, someplace. Marquette, Grand Marais, someplace like that. But yeah, on the lake, Lake Superior. That's where I'm going. Bye.
Bye.
Or
Where am I going?
maybe Silver City, New Mexico. That's also.
Yeah. I'm thinking about that one for a minute. That one caught me off guard a little bit.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, I Lake Superior is my favorite place. I would go to Isle Royal, and I would stay in one of the little cabins that they have up there, but I would make sure that I took water taxis every day so I could see every little nook and cranny of those islands. The cool
Mhm.
thing about Isle Royal is that it's many little islands that kind of surround it, and I would like to see every bit of it. I would stay there for the entire season. The whole season, I would not leave.
It's an archipelago.
It is well done. Good job. So, yeah, I would explore the entire archipelago of Isle Royale National Park, and part of it would be kayak, and part of it would be canoe, and part of it would be powerboat or whatever, but that's what I would do. Good questions, Tara Trotter, you rock. High five to you.
Exactly. Yes,
Nice.
indeed.
Alright, question 6, two-part question from Liz Williams. Favorite date night and favorite night alone?
Well, Liz Williams is my good friend slash sister-in-law. So favorite date night. It would probably be something where we would go for a hike and then have tapas in at La Feria in Detroit, and maybe even
Nice.
like spend the night in Detroit just so I could, not have to. So I could like, have a couple glasses of sangria and just chill, and then get up in the morning and go someplace yummy for breakfast.
Nice.
That would be fun. Something where you do something physical first and then have a really good meal. That would be and, that would be my favorite date night.
Cool.
Mhm,
Joe and I did something like that. We had a date weekend, and what we did is we figured out a bunch of stuff we wanted to do in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and then we did them, and it was a blast. We went curling, we went out drinking, we went to a distillery, we did like a little scavenger hunt around Minneapolis, which was fun. It was cool. It was a cool day. It was yeah. So that's a really good date night. What
mhm.
about an alone night, Anne?
Oh, well, it depends on the season. So if it's an alone night, I'm probably gonna be outside, and if it's, if it's spring or summer or nice fall, but if it's winter, I'm inside reading. So,
Nice.
yeah. Mhm. So that would
I
be
live in a really interesting neighborhood here in Kalamazoo, and so I really like to just if I'm home alone and the weather's good, I like to just sit on my porch and have a drink and watch the show.
always entertaining, always.
Yes, and if it's winter, I love to snuggle up on the couch with something to drink. Usually it's like a cocoa. I do like me
Mhm,
some hot cocoa and a cat because I usually
mhm,
have a snuggly cat that's with me. I enjoy that very much. I'm not one to go out and like party down on my alone time or
mhm,
I really just like to hang out and find something really good to watch, something very compelling and have
mhm,
a cat and a cocoa and then yeah, and then bed. Bed, bed, bed.
mhm. Bed, 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 bing.
Yeah. Yeah, see, look how sexy we are. Yes.
Mhm. So sexy.
Yes. All right. Next question, we again, power questions from, Michelle Mickey Morris, Stinnett, and Anne, we will start with you.
Mhm.
Something you wouldn't ever eat, ever, even if you were starving and it was the only thing readily available.
Meatloaf.
I knew you were gonna say meatloaf.
I hate meatloaf. I'd rather starve.
Okay. Anne
How about
Brothers
you, Jenny?
laying it down.
Yeah, yeah. I don't wanna hear how good your recipe is. They all suck. You cannot change my mind. Don't try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Anne Brothers about meatloaf?
No.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Mhm,
Yeah, and that's cool. I don't
mhm,
know if there's anything that I wouldn't eat. I don't like things like liver. I don't like liver things. I'm not a big fan of foie gras, and I don't
mhm,
like the way uh, I don't like the way geese are fed when the foie gras they're force fed, and I'm not cool with that. So I'm also not cool with veal. Another that's another way that things are made. It's sort of this cruel practice that in order to get that particular type of meat. They basically restrain baby cows and they freak out so badly that you know, they die. So, probably not gonna eat either one of those, not because I think they're gross, but because I don't like the practices of how and I know that's I do eat meat and I know you can, split hairs all day about that. I just those 2 particular practices just rub me the wrong way. So, there you go. Um, next question. And you wanna field that one?
Favorite childhood memory? Anything involving Casa Bonita.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Casa Bonita.
Yeah.
It was it would be like if you took Taco Bell and Chuck E. Cheese and mushed it all together and put it in a big pink hacienda and dropped
Yes.
it on, into the what was it? The south side of
Col
Denver, west side of Denver?
Colfax Avenue. Yeah, West
Mhm.
Side Colfax.
Yeah, amazing. I loved that place a million when I was a child. I love it now.
Well, and it's so funny because, oh, here's a great question. Uh, Linnea wants to know if we'd eat lutefisk. I don't know. I've never had it. I would try it. I would
I would
absolutely
probably
try it.
try it. Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
probably try it just because I'm like, it's like, "Hey, this looks terrible. Let's eat it." But yeah, I'd probably try it. I'm
Yeah.
pretty adventurous when it comes to food and trying food that I've never had before. I've had meatloaf and it all blows. So,
All I know, Linnea, is that if I would put dinosaur candy spray in my mouth, I can eat some lutefisk. It's all good.
like, do I have to eat the whole thing or can I just have a bite?
Damn you, dinosaur candy spray. Gonna be paying for that one for a while. Wonder what it's doing to my insides right now.
I don't know, man. I think it's actually perfume.
You might be right. All right. So wait, what's my childhood memory? Basically, any memory that involved my grandma brothers.
Mm,
How's that?
mhm.
Yeah, just because I just remember the joy, like you'd be, sitting there, grinding away at your life as a 9-year-old, grinding away, and then you'd hear a car in the driveway, and you look out and be like, "It's grandma! Woo!" So
Yay.
yeah, that's
Mhm.
pretty much it. Broad, just that happiness of I've seen grandma here because you knew it was gonna be something fun, and it always was,
And it all
100%.
yeah, it was always yeah.
Yeah. All right. Question number
See?
C.
Best
Best
vacation.
vacation you ever took.
Hmm. I think the best vacation we ever took, Jenny, is when we went down south. We went to New Orleans and through Texas and into New Mexico, and then I think that
Yeah,
was the
that was
best.
an
We action packed.
action packed. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
we
was
visited
because
Jeanette, my cousin Jeanette and her family,
yep,
and it was a blast. I think it was like 3 weeks long. It was a long vacation.
it was. We started in Michigan and we ended up making a big ol' yeah, we went down to through Kentucky down to Atlanta. We stopped at Graceland,
Hmm.
which was fabulous. We were the hottest women at Graceland. It's so
We were.
great.
I know.
Then we went to Atlanta, then we swung over to New Orleans and accidentally stayed in New Orleans for 3 days. We were just gonna go for a night just to kinda check it out, and we couldn't leave. It was amazing.
Yeah, we couldn't leave. Yeah.
And then we went to Austin, had delicious barbecue in Austin, saw a million bats in Austin, got caught in a nasty ass flash flood, in Uvalde, Texas,
Hmm.
who and the residents were lovely, by the way.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then we went to Carlsbad Caverns after that. We drove to Carlsbad Caverns, which is stunningly beautiful.
Hmm.
Roswell,
Roswell.
Roswell.
Yeah.
Yeah, up through New Mexico, finished up in Colorado. Yeah, it was a really
Mhm.
long trip, and it was, outstanding.
Mhm.
And like I said, action-packed, Pee-wee. So,
Mhm.
yes, that's the best vacation. That was years ago. That was, like, 2002, I think.
Wow, yeah, dang,
Yeah, it was a long time
dang.
ago.
Mhm.
Alright, question D. If you decided to choose different first and middle names for yourselves, what would they be?
Oh,
Oh.
I I have no idea. That's a great question. I have no idea. I really like the name Lucy, but I don't know if I'd change my name to Lucy. So,
Yeah, I don't think I could at this point. I like
yeah,
my name. I'm keeping my name because nobody has
yeah.
it, and it's fun to listen to Alexa try to pronounce my name. So I think it's hysterical.
Yeah, I never was really a big fan of my name, but I have no idea what I'd change it to. So, that's
That's
it.
fair.
Mhm.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Uh, and what is your favorite cloud formation?
No clouds. My favorite cloud formation is no clouds. Um,
I have 2.
okay, go for it.
The first one I have is a cumulonimbus cloud, and the next one is a lenticular cloud, which you don't really see very often in this neck of the woods. If you're going to see lenticular clouds, normally you have to have mountains because it's an
Mhm.
altocumulus cloud that gets trapped between two cloud layers as air comes over the mountains. So yeah, lenticulars and cumulonimbus clouds. So
There you
yeah,
go.
indeed. So, and we are coming up on an hour here.
I know.
So I'm sorry to say that we are not going to get to any more of these questions. But what we'll do, we will answer them on our Facebook page,
Mhm,
and so you'll be able to look at the Facebook page. We'll go through. We'll get the rest of these answered. Sorry we couldn't address them on the air, but we do try to keep our shows at around an hour for your
mhm.
sanity and ours. So, and I'm going to go ahead and jump to our sneak peek to next week because it's a good one.
Yes.
Sneak peek for next week. It is the great and powerful Kim Toogood,
Mhm.
realtor to the stars. And by stars, I mean me. Okay. She's my realtor.
Yeah, and she's awesome, and we'll have, like, if you've ever had to buy and or sell a house,
Yeah.
Kim's your woman. So
She is your woman, and so we're
mhm,
gonna talk to her about, kind of the ins and outs of buying or selling a house, just the real estate market, what you should know, what you think you know that maybe you don't know,
mhm,
and, Kim is a great person. She's been a realtor for many years. Like I said, she sold me my house and was just instrumental in helping me figure all this out, so she's awesome. So she'll be with us next week, and as far as, signing off for this week, just remember you can support the brother sisters, and you guys, we're gonna be pushing you a little bit, Sister Squad.
mhm,
We're gonna be asking for your help as we try to grow our audience, because like Ann said, we're trying to become podcasters. So a great way to support us without having to drop a dime is to follow us, like us, subscribe on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, or Amazon Music. Put the word out to your friends and family. We're going to ask you to start sharing our content. So as when we drop an episode on Spotify, share it with your people that, hey, look, the brother sisters just dropped an episode. I'm sharing this because this is going to be a word of mouth thing, because we're not wealthy. We can't pay for advertising and all that stuff. So we would really love your help. Anything you can do to just, follow us, like us, subscribe us, because that's what it's all about, yo. So there you go.
yeah,
All right. Well, I'm going to get rid of this. Boop. It's removed. I am
mhm,
going to turn on our other music.
yeah. Thank you,
There
Max
it
Caselli,
is.
once again.
This is part two. Max Castillo. Is
Oh,
he
we lost.
graduating this week?
Yeah, I think he is graduating this week from Western Michigan University in lovely
Nice.
Kalamazoo.
Right on. Well, that is awesome. You have been listening and watching the Brother Sisters. Smart, dumb fun with the Brother
Mhm.
Sisters. We love you guys. Thank you so much for dumping some great questions on us.
Yes.
And we will see you guys soon. I am Janice Brothers, and with me, as always, is
And brothers. The
right
name I'm
on
not changing.
the name that she's going to change. I'm going to keep my name too, Janice Jenny Brothers. All right, you guys, we are out of here. We will see you next week. Peace out.